Welcome back, students. In our today's class, we are going to read a very small and precise poem by Humayun Kabir. The name of the poem, as you can see, Trains. Now, tell me, do you like traveling by train? How many types of train have you been on? Read this poem about the thoughts that go through a boy's mind as he watches trains pass by. Now I am going to read the entire poem in a go, then I will discuss. Goods train. Mother, I sit by my window for hours on end and watch the long trains rumble past. Some are dark and journey slow, no doors, no windows, no shining lamps. Slowly they move like huge elephants. They move like shadows in the dark. Passenger train. Sometime a train comes flashing past with many windows lit by many lamps that dance and wheel with movement swift. A marriage procession with music loud. Still whistles that rise above the din of the rhythmic beat of wheels revolving fast. Where do all these trains go, day and night? You say they bore their way through hills, they roar over bridges across mighty streams, they crash through forests and vast plains, but at the end of their restless journey, where do they go and finally rest? So, that is our poem, Trains. So the boy is sitting by his window and he is seeing or watching as the trains passes by. As you can see the picture here, the boy is looking out of his window to see the train passing by. Many of us have our house just beside the railway tracks, where the railway tracks have gone through. In our locality also we have flats around the railway tracks, and where we can see the trains, watch the trains passing by from our window. Similarly, this boy is sitting on his window and looking out of the window, and he is describing to his mother the trains that he is watching. Good trains. What are good trains? This is not good, bad kind of good. Goods here refer to things. The trains that carries coal, iron, various kind of things, people, or so many kind of goods from one place to another are called good trains. In other language we call them malgadis. Okay. Now the boy is saying, Mother, I sit by my window for hours on end. So the boy is sitting for hours and hours. Maybe his exams are over. We can assume that he has nothing to do. He has done all his homework. Now he is having a holiday kind of thing. And as COVID is going on, he can't go out, and he is sitting there and he is watching as the trains are passing by. Mother, I sit by my window for hours on end and watch the long trains rumble past. What is the meaning of rumble past? Rumbling past means that chick 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 sound it makes when it passes. Now you can see here in rumble we have one mark. Then what does that suggest? That suggests that we have to refer here. Now it is a literary term. Why literary terms? Literary terms are some poetic devices that poet use to make a poem look beautiful. Okay, it does ornamentation to the poem. Okay, you don't have to learn literary terms as of now in so much of details, but you have to be introduced to this kind of things. Okay, now rumble past is an example of onomatopoeia. What is onomatopoeia? Onomatopoeia is an example is a kind of literary terms where same kind of sound the words make. Okay. The long deep sound made by the train sound just like the word rumble. Okay, so the word rumble and the sound that is made by the trains are similar. That is why it is an example of onomatopoeia. Some are dark and journey slow. How the malgadis or good trains move? They journey very slowly. They travels or they moves slow. Okay. No doors, no windows, no shining lamps. As we know, malgadis don't have windows or shining lamps or doors because they have only compartments where the things are put: coal, iron, or maybe things of various person, cars. So they don't need any kind of door or windows, as human beings are not going to sit on that compartments. Slowly they move like huge elephants. So the compartment of the trains are referred as elephants, as they move very slowly, just as elephants move very slowly. Now this is another literary term. Let us refer to here. This is a simile where the good trains are being compared to huge elephants. Okay, so it is an example of simile. They move like shadows in the dark. So they look like as if they are shadows in the dark. So how does our good trains move? The good trains rumble past very slowly. They journey very slowly. There are no doors and windows, and shining lamps could be seen, and slowly they move like huge elephants. They move like shadows in the dark. So in our first paragraph we here get two literary terms. One is onomatopoeia, where the spelling of the word and the sound they make is similar, and simile, where comparison between two things are made. Okay, when we are referring to simile, in the case of simile, the words are compared with each other with like, or, okay, like this kind of things. They move like shadows in the dark. Now let us move to passenger trains. Sometimes a train comes flashing past with many windows lit by many lamps that dance and wheel with the movement swift, a marriage procession with music loud, whistle that rise above the din of the rhythmic beat of wheels revolving past. Now the boy is describing the passenger train that comes flashing past. What is the meaning of the word flashing past? Here it is given: moving very quickly and suddenly. Something that moves very quickly and suddenly, with many windows lit by many lamps. As we know, the passenger trains have many compartments and they carry passengers or human beings from one place to another. So it is quite common that they will have these doors and windows and lights that dance and wheel with the movement swift, and that moves up and down with the swift movement of the train. And it seems to the boy as if the compartments are dancing, as if the trains or those lights are dancing in the dark. A marriage procession with music loud. So here the train, the entire journey of the train, the way it passes is compared with a marriage procession. Shrill whistle that rise above the din, and it whistle is shrill, the sound is shrill. Shrill means something that is very sharp sound. Okay, a loud and high sound that is unpleasant, and that rise above the din. That din means a continuous and loud noise. Here we have found two more figure of speeches or literary terms. Let us see what are those. The dance and wheel with movement swift. This is an example of personification. Now what is that? The lamps are imagined as the dancer who are moving in rhythm with the train. So can the lights dance? No, it is human beings who dances. The dancer who dances. So the lights are here giving lively attributes. They are treated, they are imagined as if they are dancing. So the figure of speech here, or the literary term that is used here, is personification, because the poet's imagination or the boy's imagination has perceived the dancing of the lights, the moving of the lights, as the dance of the dancers. A marriage procession with music loud. This is a metaphor. What is a metaphor? Metaphor is a figure of speech or a literary terms where comparison is made between two seemingly uncomparable things. It is a metaphor. The poet compares the passenger train to a marriage procession. There is no comparison between a marriage procession and a passenger train. So, two completely different things are compared, two far-fetched things are compared here. That is why it is an example of metaphor. Where to? Now the boys, in the third paragraph, our boy is posing a question. Where do all these trains go and night? Go day and night. You say they bore their way through hills. They roar over bridges across mighty streams. They crash through forests and vast plains. But at the end of their restless journeys, where do they go and finally rest? Now the boy is asking his mom that where do all this train go? His mother may have said him that they bore their way. That what is the meaning of the word bore? Here it is given. Bore mean they moving fast. So the boy is saying, the mother, you say that they bore their way through hills. They roar over beaches and across mighty stream. They crash through forest and vast plains. So his mother has told him that the train goes on like this, that they move through the hills, they roar over bridges and mighty streams, they crash through forests and vast plains. But the boy is again posing the question, but at the end of their restless journeys, where do they go and finally rest? So we know the trains rest in the platforms or the shades that are made for the trains to rest, or stop for the day for checking of their compatibility for the next trip. So our boy is posing that question, but at the end of their endless journey, endless or restless journey, where do they go and finally rest? So that is our poem by Humayun Kabir. Now let us read about the poet. Okay. Humayun Kabir was a Bengali poet, novelist and politician. He studied at Exeter College, Oxford in the United Kingdom. So Exeter College is a college under Oxford University in the United Kingdom, and taught at several universities after returning to India. Okay. We have done all of this in our live classes. If you feel any kind of problem regarding this poem, you can contact me anytime. Okay. That's all for today. Bye. Have a good day.